everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 26th of February, 2022. We have our very special guest coming to you live from Cork, Ireland, in an apartment in an undisclosed location. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen. There it is. I missed it. Okay, perfect. So welcome, Lou. It's nice to see you.
Hi, welcome from West Cork. Yeah,
Thank you.
not so secret. Yeah.
Well, the street address, we didn't give that. I don't know it.
You want my postal address?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not hard.
Okay, we have with us Angie, of Bridget, we have Darren and Joan, and some more people joining with us. So Lou, today everyone knows what's going on in the world, and we were going to do some praying, hopefully for a beautiful outcome for all involved, peaceful and many lives spared, and returning to a time of peace and love for the world. So
Sure.
Ukraine is now facing some big challenges with Russia at its borders and bombing its cities, and the people are fleeing. So we need to pray for everyone to show knowledge and discernment and a decision to return to peace. I would say a decision to return to consciousness. That would be the best way to say it. But you are the prayer guy, so who better to lead us in prayer on this?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, before we dive into that, just want to very briefly, and then we can get more into this and discuss it. To my mind, this is a time of unprecedented spiritual awakening. And so whatever in our outer lives are not a clear reflection of the truth as we perceive it in our loving hearts within, that's where we're getting the echo of chaos and confusion, and pain and fear is a part of all that. So, the people of Ukraine and the Russians and the Eastern Europeans and the world that's all being affected by all of this, they're on the hot seat right now. But of course, it does impact all of us. And the message that I've been getting from all my teachers in the last few days, is, to really, we're all trying to figure out what's important, what's true, what's essential. But no matter what we decide, love really is what humanity is seeking and searching after and crying out for. So, my favorite quote from Jesus, thank you, is pray for your enemies because you have none. And this is the slippery slope that we have all been living on for a long time. To find the good guys. And as we were just saying before we got started, it's not always that simple or that evident or obvious. So we want to pray for peace. We want to bring love and healing into our hearts, compassion, mercy, hold the space for truth, for justice, et cetera, et cetera. So, and the last thing here, and this is really to me my theme here today, Karen, is spiritually, then we've given ourselves permission to believe, and I really do believe that this is that lifetime where the illusions of separation really do begin to dramatically fall away in our between our inner world and our outer world. Create some context. So. Thank you for inviting me to be here, and please feel free to add your own thoughts and prayers to whatever I do and whatever unfolds over the next few days here, because it is really a tense time for many people in the world, and we need each other, I think, more than ever before. And we also want to know that Spirit, Source, God, Goddess, all that is, our guides, guardians, teachers, and friends, are always here with us and for us. But the challenge is we need to believe in ourselves, and we need to believe in our power to help, to heal, in moments like this, and then miracles and healing will happen. So if you'd like to, go ahead and close your eyes, turn within, take a deep breath. And Father, Mother God, indwelling Holy Presence, Lord God Almighty, we come together as equals with gifts to give and receive, everyone on the call here and now, with one heart, one voice, one soul, one spirit, one purpose, and that is to call forth the energies of peace. Peace in our hearts, peace in our minds, and peace in our world. We want to bless and pray for and offer the vibration of compassion and mercy and kindness and forgiveness to everyone who is struggling, whether feeling victimized or the victimizer, the righteous or the unseen and unsupported, however we experience this moment for humanity as one collective whole. We want to give ourselves here and now, body, mind, and soul, to the love intelligence that governs this universe, that creates all life everywhere, to grow and to prosper, to bloom and to blossom. We know this is truly the will of God for all life. And we want to forgive ourselves and each other for our hatreds and fears, our judgments and prejudices, our ignorance and arrogance, and give ourselves again to humility and to willingness to let God use us and guide us to be instruments of peace in this powerful time. And I'd like to share St. Francis's prayer here as well. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sorrow, joy. Where there is darkness, light. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are forgiven, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. For this and more than words can express, we're grateful and thankful for this opportunity to know the truth once again. We give thanks, we let it be, it is so, so it is, and together we say, Amen. Hey.
Amen. Well, little did we know.
Amen.
Hi, little did we know when we talked about you being on for these 2 different weeks, how
Yeah.
much the world would change from this to the next week, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you talked about something maybe that would be beautiful to focus on is this awakening, this consciousness that people are finally coming into, you know, that we are being forced out of our, what's his name that I can't think of his name. Oh, shoot. What's his name? The guy who went through I can't think of his name. He's a German guy, and he has a very funny name, an uncommon name, let's say it like that. But he talks about
David Icke.
No,
Eckhart
not
Tolle.
English.
Harald Kautz.
No.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yes, thank you. He talks about that when you stop being able to identify yourself as you knew yourself before,
Right.
you know,
Right.
when your sense of self is dissolved because of circumstance, is when you go through the greatest change, because you no longer can, you know, hold on to that sense. And I think that that's what's happening to a lot of people, that everything they've known and thought and that was true for them is no longer true.
Yeah.
And then you're forced back to the question, who am I, right? So that's the greatest sort of recipe for change. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, we've all had these experiences of being deeply challenged, in our own journey. And I believe the people that are awake are basically older souls, who have had more experience in other lifetimes of how to strive to live a more conscious and spiritual life. Not that any of us are perfect, God knows, but we all get lost, we all forget, we all get confused. But I do feel like now the planet is going through the dark night of the soul, and we're going to get many opportunities to center, to pray, to meditate, to be deliberate, to be intentional, etc., etc. And who I've been listening to the last few days is a wonderful teacher in England named Tim Wilde, who is quite good. And Carolyn Mace is another one from the States. I'm sure you've heard her. And a few others, Judith Crusoe I was mentioning. But basically, I mean, there's a long list of people I follow at this point who tend to inspire me. And they're all saying, we've really got to step it up a notch at this point. We've really got to take more responsibility for helping humanity to heal and to awaken. So it's a big time of challenge.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you talked about a woman who has seen angels all of her life, and what she was asking. And
Yes.
one of that.
Yes. Sure, honey. So this is our Irish friend here, Lorna Byrne.
Well, say it again. You kind of muted out a second. Just me? Or is he freezing?
It's him too. It's him too.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Lorna, and I've met her and read a few of her books. Byrne, B-Y-R.
Can you start over, because you went through as soon as you started talking, you started, as he freeze frozen.
Breaking up?
Breaking up, yeah. Can you say that all again? I'm so
Okay.
sorry. Okay.
Sure, honey. No, I'm sorry. Lorna Byrne, Lornabyrne.
Okay.
Yeah. She's the angel lady, and she's here in Ireland. And she's the two books that I've read. One is called Angels in My Hair.
Angels in My
And
Hair.
the other is called Stairway to Heaven.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes, she was on last night, and she said God is asking us all to pray a lot about what's happening in Ukraine. And, it's it's that everyone has the right to for themselves. We want our sovereignty as part of this struggle right now on the planet. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You said everyone has the right, and then you said we want our sovereignty. Everyone has the right
Okay.
to what? Everyone,
Right. Okay. Good. Themselves.
okay.
How they want.
I think he's saying everyone has the right for themselves to determine how they want to live.
World, as long as it's not interfering with somebody else. I mean, that is the great, challenge. Yes. Make this larger. Okay. To be free, we're wanting to cooperate and control us all. That's the challenge. Can you hear all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
May I tune into that? May I ask you something?
Yeah. Yes, dear.
Your vision is. Ever since I was a child, well, I think we are all about the same age, just about.
Yes.
And then there was
Yes.
the the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. And of course, in the church, we were also asked to pray for
Yeah.
peace. And then I would lie in my bed, and then I would see
Yeah.
in my childish mind God and all the prayers of every side, kind of battling in heavens
Yeah.
of who
Yeah.
was sending most prayers for peace, whatever peace meant. And so I decided that I would not pray for peace because I would let God know what's best. And that all that I could do was to be with God and to attune myself to that and let Him
Yeah.
determine the outcome because
Yeah.
He knows best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's very enlightened. Yeah, I like it. Absolutely. I mean, that's when we're asking for God's will, isn't it?
Yes,
That we don't know everything and we don't see everything. And we ask God to help us, we give our will to God and we ask God to use our will, to help the best happen for everyone concerned, you know?
yes, yes. Because we are so limited in our knowledge in what we can see, and it's all so far away. And we depend on what do we depend on? What we form
Okay.
our
Yeah,
opinions
no, it's
about.
beautiful.
Well, let's pray for the mind. I believe that God is
Yeah,
peace. Right? So let's pray for that everyone is living according to God's
Yes,
will and that the
yes.
best outcomes.
I think that we really are one, and the more we align with God, we manifest God here in
Yeah.
whichever surroundings we are now. You in India, you're in Ireland, I'm in Holland.
yeah,
So our connection
yeah,
with God
yeah,
is determining the vibration that is held on earth. And the more we purify, we clear ourselves of everything that we hold on to, every belief, every trauma that we acquired
yeah,
in the course of our lives, the better he can work through us.
yeah. Yes, I agree. Well said. Yeah. No, I think forgiveness, forgiving ourselves and forgiving each other
Yes,
is and asking for that
it's such a
forgiveness
shame. It's
is
such a
so important. We have this. Go on.
No, I can't hear you so well. You're
Oh,
breaking up. So could you repeat, please?
He's frozen.
Yes.
Moment. Right.
sure. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you have a hotspot? Can you
Um,
hotspot?
yeah, I'm just saying. We
Maybe you can hotspot. Let's give him a moment. We're having a big windstorm here in India and wind and rain, and we had no electricity for a little while, but now the electric's back, the internet's good. So he's really frozen.
Yes.
Lou, if you can hear us, why don't you do hotspot and maybe call back in? Hotspot from your phone if you can. It's always one of those things when you stop and you're in a picture, So Yeah. Angie, are you there? Can you guys, the rest of you people that are here, turn on your cameras?
I am, and if you want, I can do my announcement.
Wendy, can you, yeah, wait, and yeah, we skipped your announcement. Why don't you do your announcement?
Okay. I want to announce that we have the next scheduled class scheduled. It is understanding the matrix and how it works. I had quite a bit of response from that, and a lot of the questions that people asked me was, is this the same class as the one we did at the workshop? The one we did with the workshop was like a introduction to the matrix. This is going to be a more in-depth look and understanding of what it is, how it works, and its uses. It also will provide and clear up any myths or mistruths about what the matrix is. If you're interested, classes at hucolo.org, and I will get information out to you. It is Saturday and Sunday, April 30th and May 1st. Cost is $150, $130 to $430 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, I think it's quite a ways away, April 30th, isn't it? It's 2 months.
Yeah, so it's at the end of April. That's when Jim could actually fit it in, because he booked. He's already booked into April. That's why it's that far out.
Okay, good. That's good. I mean, it would be interesting to have the discussion about how right now, actually, how what we're experiencing is matrix wise.
Yeah.
Considering the events. Here's Lou's back. Lou's iPhone is here now. Well, here he comes. There he is.
How's that?
Yeah, much better. Much better. Yeah. Okay. Is he there? He's gone. No, is he
he's
there?
Yes.
Oh, he
Do I
is.
see him?
Oh.
I don't see him.
I see him, but he's frozen.
Okay. I don't even see him. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
Test.
There you
Oh.
are.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe it'd be better. I mean, we could talk to your picture if we needed to, if you wanted, if
Right.
that's going to
Sure.
Yeah.
help with your bandwidth. You know, if we'll keep your picture or lose iPhone, we'll keep it
Yeah.
on there. And
How's that?
yeah, that might be better, just for the sake of
Sure. Audio.
yeah. Here, we'll do it like that so everyone can see who's here in the thing.
Okay, we back?
All right.
Is it working?
So you were talking about the angels thing, and then that's kind of where you went away.
Sure. Okay. So Lorna Byrne is a wonderful angel contactee, and she was saying last night, asking us to keep this in our thoughts and prayers, Ukraine, and ask for Russia to leave Ukraine and give Ukraine back to the Ukrainian people. Otherwise, it would be a big problem for the planet. So I think we all got that message.
Right. And
Yeah.
and the only information she's getting is please pray.
Well, she talks about how when she talks with God, God shows her different pictures, different visions of the future. And for example, with the coronavirus, she thought that would never happen in her lifetime. And that was one of the pictures of the future that God showed her. And it's the same thing with this war with Russia. So, yeah, the simple, to come back to the bigger theme, now that the audio is working,
Yeah,
there are all these.
great, by the way. Okay.
Say again?
I said it's working great too, by the way.
Good. Lovely. Thank
Yeah.
God. All right. Prayer. So, there are all these hotspots of awakening all over the planet that, as I say, to me, have to do with people's independence and sovereignty. And, we will make a lot of sacrifices and put up with a lot if we think it's necessary for the collective good. But there's some big questions about that in terms of what's been happening over the last few years at the moment. And not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but it is really for all of us about empowerment. So we're having these energies, of spiritual awakening, these downloads from the sun and into our DNA and into our emotional bodies. And there's, we just had this last week on Tuesday, we had this magical day with the 6 2s, 222, 2022. So that's from the people that I study with was a big deal. There was a group in at the Great Pyramids in Egypt, led by a young man named Matthias De Stefano, who you can find on Gaia and other places. And he's also been awake his entire life. And he says this is what the Atlanteans promised to do 12,000 years ago, when we had our fall from grace and we closed our hearts and disconnected from the goddess and fell into our left brain and the masculine paradigm and the patriarchy and all that. So he had about 2,000 people there. You can find the pictures in the video online. And they did some amazing rituals of awakening. And so the message from spirits through the teachers that I'm hanging out with is the door has opened again for humanity's full spiritual empowerment. But as we were talking earlier, the great challenge for humanity is we think we're less than, or we're not powerful, or we're not good enough, etc. So, I mean, that's where we started to talk a moment earlier, how, the quote from Jesus, pray for your enemies because you have none. This is where, as human beings, we've learned to project our shadows and our fears onto each other and hate and fear and judge and blame each other, rather than forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and try to live, a more compassionate and forgiving and open-hearted lifestyle. So that all of that, compassion, forgiveness, loving, that is the Divine Mother. And so that energy, the divine feminine, is definitely coming back onto the earth to help humanity remember our true nature. But the old energies, the darkness, the patriarchy, the fear, that is not giving up without a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely not. And it's interesting if we look retrospectively back to when this really all started in like 2012, we've all been kind of looking at when does it get better? Like 2012 was, people had it in their minds, and the big selling point was we were moving to this like fantastic new world. And nobody really realized that the transition was meaning we had to shed all the other stuff.
Yes.
And so there's been this sort of shedding going on.
Yes.
And it's, for most of us, it has not been, super simple. It's not been super simple. It's not been painless. Right. And a lot of people decided they didn't want to go through it, so they left. A lot of people, we've had some big exits and big transitions. Sure. I don't think there's anybody's world in 2022 that looks the same as it did in 2012. You could back, or even 2020, or even 2019. Yeah. But I think that the changes have been like 180s and 180. It's been like, I don't know. I'm not on camera, so people can't see what I was doing. It's like, it's like, when does this completely right itself? And
no, you're saying it well. I agree with all that. And what spirit has shown me is that, as you were saying, it's the shift that happened in 2012 was within us, you see, inside of us, inside of our inner being, our inner self, if you like. And
Okay, because time and space are illusions, right? Lazarus tells us you created time and space so you could have time and space to make choices and learn
Right.
from your choices. Yeah.
Right.
So as we're saying here, things are speeding up because the awakening that's trying to happen and is happening in each human heart is beginning to impact and affect the outer world more and more directly. So people are learning to find their voices and speak up for their values and believe in themselves, and all of that. And hopefully, I mean, what happened to my mind in Ottawa with the convoy, and what happened in Australia. These are people that really are committed to nonviolent civil disobedience, and really are asking to be treated as equals with love and respect. And they are not, they're not the way the media has tried to portray them, or Trudeau and others have tried to portray them. So, again, everyone gets to decide who they believe and why they believe them. And that's everyone's business. But I do see that what's happening in Ukraine with Russia, whoever we want to say are the good guys or the bad guys, I'm with you that once people start dying, it's no longer philosophical, it's very basic, and people need to be protected from other people's violence. So it's pushing us quite a lot with everything that's unfolding in the world right now.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I was just thinking maybe if anyone has any questions, someone in the chat is asking, can they request some channeling questions? I think relative to enlightenment, growth, and peace, what we're talking about, you can definitely ask some questions of Lou if you have them.
Sure.
Someone, Rimnock says, Matthias DeStefano does such great work. So appreciative of sharing knowledge and the work he does. He's predicted a solar event to happen sometimes between 2024 and 2026. Not really a question, but a comment. Do you know anything about that?
Well, yeah, I hadn't heard those dates before, but yes, I've been very impressed with everything he's accomplished and what he's done, and the material from him that I've seen has been very, very well presented and believable. Amanda Lawrence is another person that's talked about the solar flash. There's a wonderful guy that I've discovered recently, an American named Paul White Golden Eagle, who kind of, what I do on morning prayers, he kind of does the ascension version of that. I call it the Ascension Weather Report. And he gives us all the solar flares and the earthquakes and the Mayan calendar and the quotes from the different teachers, etc. I mean, whenever this, there will be events in the outer world that are going to help us, and there will be events that will be challenging. The question from Spirit, I think, right now for all of us who care so deeply about becoming conscious and being of good use to the world and helping to make the kind of world that we all want to live in and leave to our children and grandchildren is really, working and living from integrity, treating others the way we want to be treated, doing what we love, loving what we do, loving life. There is a lot of suffering in the world. We need to do what we can to help that and still appreciate what we have, the little moments, that bring joy to our heart and a smile to our face, etc. It's kind of a 10 right now in the world in terms of the energies there. So what I hear from my friends, is that the people that I've been working with that are waking up are feeling things very deeply, emotionally, and there's a greater sense of the emotional body of humanity that's, going through this purging process, like you were saying there a moment earlier, how we've been purging since 2012. So it's, everyone gets to decide what they believe, how deeply they believe it, and if it's their truth. And the way my guides put it to me is, your truth will always bring you back to peace. It won't always be the easiest decision or the simplest path necessarily, but you'll feel like, no, that's right. I do need to do that, or say that, or look at that, or forgive that, or release that, whatever it is. So, meditation is listening to God. Prayer is speaking with God, or for God, or through God. And, to continue to come back to striving to open our hearts and to love ourselves, to love life, to love each other, and to forgive those injuries and wounds and hurts, traumas, that keep humanity reliving the past,
Yeah. Just very poignantly as timing goes.
Yes.
Sadhvi Bhagavati Saraswati, who is one of the main spiritual leaders here. She's an American who came to India and had a life-changing experience on the banks of Ganga and the Ganga River. But anyway, I do part of her social media, and she just posted me her talk for tomorrow, and this is the text. And I just thought it goes along with what Bridget said.
Perfect.
She says,
Okay.
we are not separate from our world. We are not separate from the universe. We are one with the Creator and one with all creation. Our Vedic scriptures remind us that we are all one as divine and also one in this physical realm, all created from the same 5 elements. And we are the ones who are the answers, the solutions, as we are the ones who have created the problems in this world we occupy and co-create each moment.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
She's not here, but she's here. So she's sending me
Yeah.
this text. Yeah.
May I pose another question
Sure.
about this? There is a rather big question that I have, namely if what we consider the dark or the matrix, whether that is superimposed on us or whether we created it so that we could wake up from it. Well, am I clear in what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's very good. I think you're right, Bridget. I think it's the second one. We created it. The way my guides put it is they say, you created a world that's so real, you've forgotten that you've created it, and you've forgotten that it's a dream.
Yes. And thinking further along that line, obviously to heal traumas or to get the energy out of your traumas is, let me say the beginning.
Sure.
But an even bigger step would be to embrace all that we consider dark, to acknowledge that within us.
Sure.
Keep breathing.
Yes, Karen. Yes, I'm with you on that one.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely, you're right. Go on. Sorry.
Well, that's all I have to say.
Okay.
My way is to keep breathing, to have, to feel something, to get yesterday I cut off my tea towel by accident.
Right.
And it took a half an hour for me to calm down again. Well,
bless you.
Yes, but it's work. It's work. It's amazing how much energy it took to get over a stupid thing like cutting through my favorite dish towel. But if I'm already having such a hard time to bring myself into 0 point neutral, a loving state towards myself again.
Yes.
It is some work that we need to do to take responsibility for all the dark that we see in the world.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You see, this is the most exciting thing you've shared with me since we started talking today, which is, anger is fear shouting my name, is a quote from the Course in Miracles. And sure, we will all have fear and we will all have anger. So like you're saying, you're touching on it now, my dear, the willingness to forgive ourselves and to accept ourselves and to love ourselves and to offer up our hurt, our anger, our fear, our pain. That to me really is the measure of wisdom, because yeah, go on.
That's a true offering. It really
Yes.
is. I give
Yes.
to you.
Yes, because what Spirit tells me is, after lifetimes we've killed each other or whatever, and we shake hands and we go have a nice meal together, and we say, oh yeah, you were the good guy and I was the bad guy in this lifetime, and would you like to be the bad guy next time? It's kind of like that. Not that these things don't matter to us. They matter a lot. But like we're saying, Hun, the awareness that our perception, especially with our mind, this is when Karen was referring to Eckhart Tolle and all these wonderful teachers that are out there, Neil Donald Walsh, Byron Katie, there's so many of them, they're saying to us, see with your heart. Thich Nhat Hanh, who just passed, was so deeply loved by millions of people around the world. If we can walk on the earth with love and respect and treat each other consciously and respectfully, then we're living God's grace. If we're hating, fearing ourselves or each other, and either of those is going to reveal itself, in these struggles and these crises, then we're out of balance. That's what we're healing now. And so again, divine mother, divine feminine, compassion, mercy, forgiveness, all of that brings us back to feeling safe to open our hearts again.
Yes, and to be willing to take each process that we see, notice, hear of in the external, the willingness to take that inside and process it here, make it ours.
Yes, exactly. So, I'm just going to guess, my friend, that before you accidentally destroyed your favorite tea towel, you were probably upset about something, and that gave you permission. And my towel! Look what I've done! You can let out some of that rage and anger and hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's accident, illness, and injury are the way my guides say. When we don't process things. We're all meditators here. We're all students of these spiritual, eternal truths, and we're striving to embody them and to share them with others. If we don't take the time to do that, then chaos and pain and confusion get our attention and tell us it's necessary. And so I'm saying again, this divine balance, that we're striving to come back into. The whole planet is feeling all of this unconscious pain and fear that's being expressed through war and aggression at the moment, for whatever good or bad reasons. And so, we're being able to pull that space of compassion and forgiveness.
Yes.
It's hard. It's not easy.
May I say something to that, please? Well, it's just what you make of it. You can also have an attitude of, but it is easy. It is as easy as tuning into another radio station.
That's right.
A radio station is just a square box and it has some knobs on, some buttons on it. And it takes no effort what you're attuned to, whether you're attuned to heavy metal music.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, so it is an imprint that we have that change is difficult, but we can do it. If we want, we just can do it. But we are so often we are quite attached to the radio station we always have been listening to.
Sure. That's right. So that's the phrase, if you do what you've done, you'll get what you've gotten. So that's where, people are nice enough to ask me to pray about these things. And for me, the heart of the prayer is always, can I come into that moment where I don't know what the next word is going to be, and I let Spirit bring it to me so that I'm a clear channel
for real healing to take place. And we can feel that, when our hearts are opened. It's very humbling, but that's the freedom of it. It's like music or anything authentic and spontaneous. That's why creativity and creation and art is so sacred and holy to me, because it's being that channel for spirit to bring more love and light out into the world, more beauty and truth.
Yes, very good. As you were talking, what I was thinking about is that when we're talking about trauma for people, and some of the greatest trauma has been just, where does the need to aggress come from?
Right.
And it's in this feeling of lack that people have, that there's not enough, so I have to take what you have, because if I don't take it, I'll never get it. And there's not this sort of, communal sharing of resources where people are all taken care of. And there's so many people that could, their basic needs are still not even being met. And it leads to these distrusts. It propagates ignorance and pain and trauma. And in order to heal it, it goes back to the oneness. It's like if we're one body, if our legs aren't working, then we'll never walk. And we have to think about how do we take care of each other without demoralizing someone by making them dependent, but actually empowering them to live sort of their most healthy, best life, where their basic needs of food, shelter, healthcare, safety, education, and all of these things are met. And, I think I have to wonder, in the mind of it's a jump I'm making right now, but in the mind of someone who would decide to invade a country, what, Russia is so big, they have so much, but it's not enough,
Right.
And this need to exert the power, to threaten. He said, what is that trauma? What is that trauma based in? Where's that fear mentality coming from? This need to aggress, why? You have to wonder, because it's not, it's not an idea that was had yesterday. This has been coming and coming and coming for many, many years. And so now we're here, but you have to wonder, what is this need? And we were talking about forgiveness and healing trauma. And I'm thinking, well, what prayer can I say to heal the trauma within the person themselves?
Sure.
So there's no need to do this now, because ultimately right now, and one of the reasons this is shocking the world so much is because we are so much more interconnected than we've ever been. We understand each other much more. We're looking at pictures of people with carrying their cats and their dogs, and standing in subways, and talking on their cell phones. They are as close to us as we are right now, talking on Zoom. And so the question is, what do we need to be praying? Whose healing do we need to pray for? So maybe you can talk about that.
That's a brilliant way to look at it. It's that's why I like the prayer of Saint Francis, because he's saying, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. It's like, I don't know what's needed here. Let me become your instrument here,
let me be a vessel for your love and light and your peace and your truth and your healing. You know, that's, I mean, co-creation. It's a great question. You know, as long as trauma and, you know, pain, fear, violence, lack, struggle, all of that. So that spirit says, look, folks, that's all resistance to who you really are. You know, you really are the love intelligence of the universe. You really are the love and light of all that is the way my guides say it. So I don't know that consciously as a mortal man. I need to meditate, to pray, and to study these ideas and sit with these ideas so that I can open my my heart and my mind to believing that, and to remembering that, and to channeling that, etc. So peace, my guides say, is the presence of infinite possibilities. And they say it's very simple: go into peace as often and as deeply as possible, because then you do come back to yourself. So when we're talking about trauma, obviously that is the absence of peace. And if people don't have peace inside of them, if we don't have peace inside of us, then we're attacking, judging, blaming, you know, controlling each other. And it is getting simpler and simpler to see it. You know, we want to treat each other the way we want to be treated. We want everyone to have equal access to their own needs fulfilled and their own dreams and desires fulfilled, as long as it hurts no one else. You know, that's kind of, you know, those are the basics. So to me, those are the prayers that I hear from other enlightened masters and other teachers, you know, is deep compassion and deep mercy and forgiveness and kindness and gentleness and humility, and, you know, inviting all of us to open our hearts and to remember who we are. When we're resisting, we've just forgotten who we are, you know. And so, you know, we're being asked to hold that space in the world right now, that the people that have forgotten can begin to remember more of who they are.
There's someone in the chat named Matt Wally. He jumps in our YouTube from time to time. Really wonderful guy. He's in Austria, and he says, you know, they're very they're kind of nervous. They're close to Ukraine.
Yeah.
He says, I have to get over my overwhelming panic. He says, when I'm overwhelmed with fear, what is your suggestion how to rise above that?
Great. So you want to take dominion over your body and take a few deep breaths, and you want to, you know, call upon your spirit, your angels, God, whoever you feel a sense of connection to or an openness to. The one that I learned from, if this is of any use to you, Matt, the one I learned from Unity is: the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, and the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. So in other words, simply, prayer and affirmations are just wishful thinking, if you like, or gentle reminders that there is a God, that we're not alone, that we can take dominion over our pain and fear and anxiety in the moment. And the more we focus on that, the more we feel that, the more we come back to being centered and peaceful again. We can only think of one thing at a time. It's all about our focus.
He's really saying he's really overcome with fear. He says he's been praying day and night. He really can't sleep. I mean, in Austria, they're close. You know, Poland is right on the edge, and
Sure.
Finland, of course. And when people look at a map, Finland borders Russia.
Sure.
You know, and
Sure.
Finland is also being threatened by Putin about the NATO thing. And
sure, yeah. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that for all of us, you know, it's your turn today in the hot seat, Matt. It'll be me and Karen tomorrow. You know, everyone gets a turn. The way out is always in. You know, I can't control what's happening in the outer world. I can't change what's happening out there right now. How can I find a way to be of loving service to what's happening? How can I find a way to know that we will get through this? How can I find a way to be grateful for the opportunities this is giving me to heal the pain and fear in my life, as Bridget was just saying a minute ago. Whether you decide that you have great reason to be afraid for your life and your future, or whether you decide that this is the best opportunity to grow in your oneness with your loving higher power, either, whatever you decide, that's what you're going to begin to attract into your experience.
There's a beautiful mantra called the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Maha means the great mantra, and Mrit is death, but Amrit is the opposite of death.
Right.
And the story of the mantra is that there was this very lovely boy. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll just tell you the story because it's relevant.
Yeah.
There was a very beautiful couple that loved Shiva so much, and they were such big devotees, but they could not have a child. And so they prayed and prayed and prayed, and they said, please, Shiva, let me have a child, let us have a child. And Shiva finally, after, this was the time predating this era, so people lived for thousands of years. After thousands of years of prayer, Shiva came to them and he said, well, of course, I want to give you a child. Only there's a catch, because I can't give you a child because I'm breaking your destiny. I will give you a child, but the child can only live for 16 years. And you can have, well, this is the thing, you can have a child that loves me, that's a beautiful child, or you can have a dumb child who doesn't know much, doesn't do very much. But if you have the beautiful, wonderful child that loves me and loves, is a wonderful child, then the child can only live for 16 years, but it's your choice. And so, of course, the parents chose the beautiful, God-fearing child that they knew at 16 was going to die.
Yeah.
So it came to be the 16th birthday, and the father was beside himself in fear because he knew this was coming. He knew his son was going to die. The love of their lives was going to die. And the son saw the father and he says, Father, why are you so nervous? What's going on? And he had to tell him. So he said, it's okay. I have such faith in God. I'm going to go pray. And he prayed at the Shiva Lingam, which is, I don't know if it's everyone's seen it, it's like a phallic symbol. He sat down and began to say this prayer, which is Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvar Ukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamritat. And it basically says, oh, the three-eyed one, which is one of the symbols of Shiva, we bow to you. May your sweet nectar invade my senses. And like the cucumber, when a cucumber is on the vine, when it's ready to fall, it can just be taken. You just twist it and it pops right off. It, like the cucumber is ready to be taken, let me be taken by you, the great gardener. You know?
Yeah.
And so he starts praying this prayer just out of his genuine adoration, and he gets so lost in the prayer, and Shiva is so enthralled by this beautiful, loving child who's praying and trusting in Shiva, trusting him, that when death comes, Shiva says, I'm sorry, no, wait, you cannot take this beautiful child. Well, he's praying to me. And then death is like, yeah, but I'm supposed to take this child. So Shiva basically throws death to the side and says, no, you can't. So this mantra is the mantra that is said at the time, because it's what's called a moksha mantra, which means it's an enlightenment mantra. If you chant it, you can reach enlightenment.
Okay.
But it's also known as done at fire ceremonies because it's the cleansing. It's a surrender to that
Yeah.
which is greater than you, trusting.
Yeah.
And so when people are also dying, they chant this mantra, or it's chanted around them.
Sure.
And it's also a peace-giving mantra. It brings the chanter to peace.
Yeah.
And so whether you chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra or Om Namah Shivaya or Om, or, I love you, God, I love you, God, I love you, God, what you
Yeah.
said, go in and make your goal just the connection, so that when you have that connection, you can be centered and be at peace. Because the
Yes.
world can be swirling around you. Death can be trying to grab you. But when you are, and what happened to Markandeya is he was lifted above death. He didn't even experience death because she said, you know what? You're going to skip death and go right into the knowledge of your true divine being, which would have you out of your life. So the point is that going inside, chanting, praying, making the connection the goal,
Yes.
will eliminate the fear because you get lost in the bliss of the connection to the divine. That's basically
right. Yeah, no, that's gorgeous.
So,
Thank you. Yeah.
So yes, and Medvali knows the mantra. Asatoma. He's doing the Asatoma Sadgamaya, which is Asatoma Sadgamaya. The guru here sings it all the time. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyoti Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. And what the mantra says is,
beautiful.
Take all that is unreal and remove it from me, revealing only the real.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Let there only be what's real. Any of those mantras, Asatoma, Mahamrityunjaya, the Gayatri mantra, which is also, beautiful mantra, any of those, to sit and chant them and just stay in that space. They say sometimes mantra is a life jacket. You just hold on to the mantra.
Yeah.
So that you can hold on. Sometimes it's liberating, but prayer and mantras is really important right now.
That's gorgeous. No, I hadn't heard all that, and of course, it's great to hear you sing, and great to hear the mantras as well. And I mean, to come back to our brother, it's you and I know this. The mind is a wonderful servant and a terrible master, and as long as the mind is running our reality, it's very capricious, as Our Lady said with her tea towel and all that. So it's the work. I mean, you just brought us there with that story and singing these beautiful mantras. It's you open your heart and you give yourself to love or peace or service or commitment or devotion. You want to get out of your own way. It is the secret. When we're self-obsessed, when we're focused on pain and fear and worry and death and lack and loss, there's no peace there. There's no hope there. It's just empty struggle, pain and fear. So this is the biggest shift that any of us can learn to do, and when we know that when we do give ourselves to peace, we come back to who we really are, and then the situation improves. I mean, of course, this is the other thing to talk about in support of the timeless teachings that you're a deep and devoted student of and sharing so beautifully is, Greg Braden, the Heart Math Institute, all these people have demonstrated the Maharishi effect, etc. Maharishi effect. So that TM and the students of TM and different meditations, they've shown that when you are in a group and you're devoted meditators, you can shift the energy, for a huge area. And it's the same thing now. We're really in the midst of a planetary healing crisis,
with what's happening. And all of us are going through our earthiness and worldliness and humanness. And we're being invited, asked, challenged. Can you see this differently? Can you bring your heart into this and not just your mind?
Yeah. You're right, exactly right. And it says also in the Bible, when two or more are gathered and pray,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
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 So,
my friend, let me just share one quick story.
Sure.
Friend here. So I lived in Vienna, and I was there for a year in 2006, and it was a great experience. I also got to travel to Budapest and to Bratislava and to Prague during that time. And I mean, it gave me something of a sense of the Eastern European culture and, some idea. And I have friends there now, who are like our brother here in Vienna, worrying about the future in that way. But again, it's like, if we can come back to giving ourselves to the situation for the divine purpose that we were brought to this situation, and appreciating that we do have help and we do deserve help, then we can begin to, transcend the illusions of separation and bring love and peace and healing back into this situation. What I also just want to say real quickly, I have no doubt that most of, probably all of the abusive or, controlling, tyrannical types in the world are sufferers of childhood trauma, that they have never found any other way to address or to heal. And, just in terms of bullying and abusive relationships and things like this, the evidence is undeniable that everyone that becomes abusive was abused. And they are abusive because they haven't found a better way to heal and to release that trauma. And that's what we're being asked to help learn to do now, that we don't have to live in this planet of pain and fear any longer.
True. You're exactly right. And actually, Joan asks a very, very good question. And you touched on it a little bit, but do you see the question in the chat? Shall I read it to you?
Yes, please. I don't have a visual.
Okay. She says, why do humans need to come to Earth to challenge themselves for spiritual growth if we know that we're already complete in love? Or is this only a play and part of creation? Why do we need to create something like this that we need to forget ourselves?
Right. That is the big question. That is the big question. Yeah. Well, so, God means everything. Yeah. Well, to my mind, I mean, I'll take a run at it, and then I want to hear yours first. Sure.
Absolutely.
We do forget in order to remember. That's the way it's been put to me. And the forgetting is painful, and the remembering is joyous. And that is what, every single person that has a spiritual, mystical awakening experience begins to realize that we really are love. We're not seeking for something outside of ourselves, and as we begin to open that inner door to our heart of hearts, then, it reveals itself through our experiences and through our intuition and through our synchronicities and through miracles in the outer world. And, we came here saying, I will forget in order to remember, in order to help people learn how to do this. That's my belief.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What the Hindu belief is that Shiva, in divine play,
Right.
There was a moment where Shiva hesitated because he knew in coming into the world with all the coverings of forgetfulness, the materialism, all of the things of the body, all of this stuff, that he would forget who he was. But then he also remembered that he couldn't not be who he was. So even if he didn't remember, he would still be who he was.
Yes.
And so he came in joyfully into the world. But there was a moment of hesitation, but then the remembrance of, but I can't not be myself. I cannot, and we are all just this sort of divine energy. You know, we believe we're individuals, but we are not. And when we wake up to who we are, we will only be the divine waking up to know itself. So it's not like Lou will wake up and realize he's Lou. Lou will wake up and realize he's the divine. And it's the same divine that I will realize that I am. And you all will all realize that we are. And we won't be any different. We won't be differentiated at all. We will just be that one being waking up. So, you know, that's the belief. But it's to experience all that can be experienced. And to do that, Lou said that Lazarus says that we come to have, what did you say? Come to have the experience as, how did you say that we come to have the experience of forgetting? Is that what you said?
We forget in order to have the experience of remembering.
Yep. My guides always say that we enjoy the ability of singular focus, that by coming in, we are, you know, when you are one, when you are conscious of oneness, when you are the oneness, there is no differentiation between the floor and the ceiling. There is nothing, because it's just oneness. And in order to have a singular focus, to have the play of the scenario of a life, you can have awareness of all that is, because if you hold that awareness, it will basically dissipate the illusion. And if without the illusion, you can't have the play. So,
Right.
So they say we enjoy the ability to have the singular focus. And then we come here again and again and again to do this, because it's like, how far can we get this time? How much into remembering can we get? When we truly remember, we'll cease to be, when we remember in the fullness of everything.
Right.
But we can get a lot closer and have a very joyous life, but that's what they say. There's a very nice mantra that we should probably chant, and I'd like to do it.
Sure, honey.
A few minutes. It's the peace mantra. It's Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Right.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And it says, may all the beings in all the world be happy and free.
Yeah.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. But when you chant it, you say Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. And it's Bhavantu, like tu with your tongue right behind your teeth. Bhavantu. So if we could just maybe chant that together for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I think that would be a really good thing.
Yes.
May all the beings in all the world be happy and free. It's a mantra that if you take yoga, a lot of yoga people chant it. But if you can just take a deep breath, you can hold your fingers together like this or in prayer, and just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 3 more times. Loka Samasta Sukhino bhavantu lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Here, I found another prayer for peace. Can I share this with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, that was gorgeous. Thank you. Mother, Father, God, Goddess, all that is, I pray, we pray, that all peace-loving people of the world unite in one voice, one heart, one soul, and one spirit, to bless and to heal all pain and fear, and to comfort and guide all troubled, grief-stricken hearts and minds at this cosmic moment. We know that this is a cry for love and a cry for healing. We know that you are our strength and our courage in the face of darkness and hatred and fear. We know that the darkness will pass and that the light will return to our lives and to our world. Thank you, Divine Creator, for the profound, heartbreaking cries of anguish and fear to the heart of humanity. We are asking for more love, more courage, more compassion. We are asking for greater justice and greater kindness in our world. We surrender our illusions of separation, of status and hierarchy, of class, race, and religion, which divide brother against brother and man against God. Use me this day for your divine purpose of love and healing for all of the world, with good for all and harm to none. Let the angels of peace create a miracle of love and courage for our new world now. We let it be, and so it is, and so I am. Amen.
Amen. There's a really nice song written by a man who owns a company called Organic India, but he's Israeli, and it basically goes, we are one heart, we are one voice, we are one world waking up.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And the chorus is Om Shalom Salam Amen. Om Shalom Om Shalom Salam Amen. We all have the same wish, don't we?
Yes.
To be in peace, no matter how we choose to end our prayer, whether it's Om Shalom Salam or Amen.
Yes, that's right. Yes. We're all different and we're all the same. It's a beautiful mystery.
I would like to say something to the Austrian guy.
Yeah.
Don't let fear take over your life.
Mm.
I want to share something. When I was a young mother, my baby daughter died after 3 months. It was cradle death.
Mm.
And after approximately 2 years, I got another baby boy.
Mm.
And I was so afraid that this child also would die that it drove me mad. And I tried mantra singing, I tried meditating, I tried so many things. And there was this constant fear when he was sleeping, that I was thinking, oh, he didn't make any noise. Is he still alive? And only in my mind, I saw myself in a frenzy, opening the door and getting my ear close to his mouth to see whether he would be breathing again. And then I thought, no, I cannot put my fear on this little creature. That's not fair. It's my fear. So, well, usually when I was doing the dishes, that anxiety took over. And then I gave it over to God, and I said, well,
Yes.
if it is your will to have this child to leave me, then it is your will. And I, again, will continue living. And I can do it. I did it once, I can do it twice. And my way is to watch my breath. When I hold my breath by thinking of things, or with bits and pieces that come to my mind in the during a day, and I hold my breath, or it speeds up, then there's something that I must then still by face it. What am I afraid of now? Okay, this is what I'm afraid of now. I breathe it in, I let it go, and after some time, and that depends on how much I am attached to the bad outcome that I'm fearing.
That's right.
If I'm not attached to if I'm willing to, that is what the offering that we were talking earlier about. If I'm willing to offer to God, whatever happens, it is okay. It is not my will, but Thy will that will happen.
Yes.
So that is my way to deal with anxiety, with fear, and the situation in the world is scary in many ways. But to let go of the fear, to let go of whatever my solution would be, and to turn it over.
Yes, that's right. There you go. Yeah.
And then what you come to realize is that this moment is okay. And we never know what the next moment is happening. But we make this moment not okay by the fears that we are projecting, anticipating, that our minds are making up. And there's also this beautiful story about
Can we just 1 second? I just need to check a time, because we're right at the top of the hour, I believe. Lou, how are you for time?
Yeah, I'm all right. We're just at the half hour mark.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sure that you, Karen, know the story that of a guy who's chased by a tiger, I think, and he falls into the abyss, and then he sees the strawberry, or the I don't know, blueberry, and he takes the blueberry, eats it, and enjoys it. So by living in the moment, there's always the opportunities, and to fear something that maybe never will happen. Well, that's just a waste of time. And it's not being in God, because God knows best.
Bless you. That was heartfelt and sincere and absolutely gorgeous, honey. I'm so sorry for your loss about your 2-month-old, but
she's with me. It is the most beautiful lesson that I have. I have adopted all the world as my daughter.
There you go. Well, that's brilliant. Bless your heart. That's, honestly, this seems to be the grace for all of us, Bridget, is the things that we feel are the most difficult and painful and frightening, in hindsight, turn out to be the greatest gift of empowerment if we make that journey from the head to the heart. Bless you, that you made, which is you decided that I'm in the present moment, that there is a God who loves me and my child and my children, and I'm going to give my fears and my attention to that power. And yes, then suddenly it becomes miraculous and meaningful, and the whole world is your daughter. Bless you.
Great.
Big stuff, my friend. Bless your heart. Yes, this is the initiation for all of us. Can we turn our greatest pain into our most powerful teacher? you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that do you have anything, Lou, burning in your heart that you'd like to share? What?
Sorry, a little
Oh.
German. Yeah.
I was like, what is that? So
Yeah.
if so, I think it would be really, do you have anything else you'd like to share? Any prayers, any thoughts, any else that you would like to
Well, I'm
communicate?
happy to sing you a song if you like to hear me play for you.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to grab my guitar.
Okay, very good. Very good. While we're waiting for him to get to his guitar, I think, Angie, if you want to do your announcement one more time, that would be great.
All right, one moment. All right, we have the next online Hucolo class scheduled. It is Understanding the Matrix and How It Works, Saturday and Sunday, April 30th and May 1st, 1:30 to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Cost is $150. This class is going to cover, it's a more in-depth look and understanding of what the matrix is, how it works, and the truths and mistruth, the myths and the mistruth. The next online book.
That was me trying to switch to the other thing. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. If you're interested, please email classes@hucolo.org. I will get the information out to you. This class is the quote second class. The first class we did at the workshop was an introduction to what the matrix is. This is a more in-depth look.
Perfect. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very exciting. I'm very exciting.
You are excited.
You are. You're pretty exciting.
No, you know, it's so funny. Well, no, I have a music joke for you, Lou.
Go for it.
You know, in some countries, they sing in English, but they're really not knowing English. And this is like a blues joke. There was a lot of blues musicians that were playing in France, and they really, the French weren't singing words they understood, but they were singing, "I'm so exciting, and I just can't hiding." So every time I hear the words, "I'm so exciting," I think of that. Nothing against anyone French, but it was just that song. "I'm so excited, just can't hide it. Well, I'm so exciting, I just can't hide it." Are you ready? No, he's not. He's probably tuning.
Hi, sorry, I had the mute on. Can you hear
That's
me?
okay. Yes,
right.
We can hear you now. Oh, hey,
Okay.
there you go. Okay,
Yes,
great.
I'll try. We'll try the video. So I just want to say, I'm going to play my song. It's called "I Believe in You." Before I do that, thank you for having me on again. And divine timing, as you said, is the nature of the game here. But what I want to say is, for everyone on this call with these great questions and heartfelt prayers and deep challenges, you know, let's just know with and for each other that whatever resources, ideas, tools, teachers, help we need, that the universe is ready to give it to us, and that we will receive what we are asking for, because we're holding that space for grace for the whole world right now. And the universe takes care of itself. Okay? Yeah. All right. So we're in good hands, my friends. Yeah. So here we go. Don't let anyone ever tell you no. that you dream can come true. You will reap every seed you sow. I believe in you. Don't let anyone ever break your heart, make you feel sad and blue. You are here to play a part. I believe in you. There's a light and it's burning bright. I've watched it blaze the whole night through, like a star that shines so far out. I believe in you. Don't let anyone ever shake your faith. Everybody's searching for a clue. You have got something to say. I believe in you. There's a path through the forest deep, where the messenger gets through. Every gift you give is all I keep. How could I not believe in you? Don't let anyone ever slow you down. In the end, that's all they could do. This world can turn your head around, but I believe in you. I believe in you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Woohoo! If I had a match or a lighter or something, I
Great. Yes.
would have done it.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. Please tell people how they can get in touch with you, reach out to you.
Sure.
Talk to you.
Sure. Yes, of course. So on my Facebook page, Lou Martin, Loumartin, I do morning prayers Monday through Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m., where I channel and do some to other people's messages and poems and prayers. And then you can find me at Awakened Spirits Network, which is a YouTube channel and a Spotify podcast.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. So we will definitely be asking you back in the future, and it's been fantastic to have you twice in a month.
Thank you. A pleasure. I'm also with my friend Ali Ray on our podcast called View from Love. And we've had some great guests on there as well. I was mentioning Judith Hucolo, and that's one for everyone to have a listen to. There's some powerful teachers on the planet right now.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Well,
Love
thank you very much. Love you too.
Okay.
And we'll see you very soon, and keep going.
I will. You too.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Peace.
Peace to you as well. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Oh, you look nice, Wendy. You get ready
thank
to
you. I'm actually, we're downtown in the city of Chicago, and I'm getting ready to go to a bachelorette luncheon. And so look at this. Oh, gosh, this wild and crazy shirt. It says, all right. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to get it in the sun.
Let me do the announcements.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So thank you. Sometimes our webinar just goes in a totally different direction.
Totally.
Jeez. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Next week we'll be back to the gym back. So that's going to be really exciting. So yay for that. And we will see you next week. Much love to everyone and stay safe. Keep praying. Keep praying. Prayer works.